Imane Khelif danced in defiance as she swept into an Olympic women's boxing final and declared, "I don't care" about the gender furore engulfing her. The 25-year-old at the center of the most toxic outcry at these games destroyed her opponent in front of a raucous Arab-French support at Roland-Garros. In a rarity for women's boxing, battered Thai Janjaem Suwannapheng was given a standing count in the third round, such was the ferocity of Khelif's punching. As victory was sealed, the Algerian lapped up the scenes with a ferocious war dance in the ring, amid scenes of delirium among a crowd who chanted, "Khelif, Khelif, Khelif." There were no post-fight tears this time, after a week in which her main critics, the International Boxing Association, scrambled to repair damage to its own reputation. "I don't care what anyone is saying about me with the controversy," said Khelif, wrapped in an Algerian flag, but emotionless as she spoke to a pack of 100 journalists. "All that is important to me is that I stay on the level and give my people the performance they deserve. I know I'm a talented person, and this is a gift to all Algerians." The toxic issue tearing apart the sport at these games now moves on to Friday's final, with Khelif facing China's Yang Liu. Suwannapheng had endured boos and whistles from the crowd before being easily overhauled. She had acknowledged uncertainties around Khelif's gender ahead of the fight, but there were no protests from her afterwards. Khelif, meanwhile, looked more confident and at ease with the attention around her than she has throughout the last fortnight, buoyed by Arab support in Paris. "It was the performance I was looking for, and I was trying to let all the audience and fans who came today be happy," she said. "The hall was full of people, and I was happy to hear my fans, and that's what made me proud. And all Algerians must be proud. I hope I can also give a great performance in the final and let all the Arab countries be happy." Khelif was on the front foot from the start, comprehensively winning rounds 1 and 2, leaving the significantly shorter Thai facing an impossible task in the third. For what felt like the biggest event in town, the BBC instead opted to lead with highlights of other events amid calls from both Khelif and Games chiefs to show restraint. For fair sport campaigners, this has been a saga with only losers, as Khelif now closes in on gold, despite allegedly failing 2 sex tests in 2022 and 2023. All the semifinal bouts had been moved to Roland-Garros' magnificent Philippe Chatrier Arena, the equivalent to Wimbledon Center Court. It was a far cry from the claustrophobic scenes of Sunday at the Paris Nord Arena, a venue better equipped for covered fruit markets. However, the cacophony of raucous support for the fighter in the eye of a storm was just as enthusiastic. After easing through her quarter-final triumph over Hungarian Luca Anahamori, Khelif was overcome with emotion, crying uncontrollably and crying, "I am a woman." In the days since, the furore has only continued to boil, despite her calls for restraint. "I send a message to all the people of the world to uphold the Olympic principles and the Olympic Charter, to refrain from bullying all athletes, because this has effects, massive effects," Khelif told the sports broadcaster SNTV in Arabic in her only interview on Monday. "It can destroy people, it can kill people's thoughts, spirit, and mind. It can divide people. And because of that, I ask them to refrain from bullying." No restraint in the Moscow office of the International Boxing Association's president, however, who within hours was calling Khelif and Lin Yuting men. Hours before the bout, some clarity was restored as the IBA released its full correspondence with the IOC and encouraged the public to make its own minds up. One letter, which the IOC confirmed it received in June last year, deals strictly with the Khelif case and urges the games to do what is necessary to ensure the safety of competing athletes. This situation epitomizes the importance of protecting both safe sport and the integrity of sport, which the Olympic movement is committed to, the IBA letter says. "We trust that you will give this matter the utmost attention it deserves, and you have our absolute support on doing what is necessary to ensure the safety of competing athletes."